Sound Off with Chris and Greg on AM 1290, FM 104.1, and Wkbk Radio.com. To be part of the show, dial 357-1290. Agree or disagree, ask a question, or share information. It's time to Sound Off.
And good morning, it is 9:07 this morning on your Saturday morning, and welcome to Sound Off with Chris Coates and myself, Greg Pregent, right here on AM 1290 and FM 104.1 and Wkbk Radio.com. We are streaming to the world, so if you go away from the radio, you can just go online or go to your smartphone, and you can still listen to the show. I want to remind you, if you have any comments or questions, or if you just want to sound off, give us a call here at 357-1290 or email the show at gpregent at Wkbkradio.com. Good morning, Chris. How are you today?
I am awake and ready to go.
Excellent. Very good. Well, we have a very exciting show today from 9 until 9:30 this morning. We have the Keene State College President and Huot in the studio. Also, Keene Mayor Kendall Lane and the Keene State College Senior Class 2014 President, I believe. Eric Grady is joining us here this morning. From 10 to 10:30, we'll have Doug Byam. He's from Harrisville. He'll be talking about maple sugaring. From 10:30 until 11, Dan Eaton will be here. We'll talk about some state issues there. And then from 11 until 12 o'clock this morning, we'll take your phone calls for open mic, whatever you'd like to talk about.
And just remember that when you do the maple sugaring in the house, if you want to take your wallpaper down, that's the best time to do it, because all the steam from that will take it right down.
Yeah, and we'll get into that later. Chris can tell his story about how he had to change his wallpaper in his house because he wanted to do some maple sugaring.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to start out here this morning, and I want to thank all our guests here, Mayor Lane and President. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, you're very welcome. We're happy to be here.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
president, a mayor and two presidents.
Wow. And so we'll get right into it. You know, normally we do some community calendar stuff, and but we'll wait for later on because I know time is short, and so we want to just get right into it. And the first thing is, of course, just last week there was the city meeting, where town folks could come in and yak about stuff with their concerns, and both the mayor and you were there. What are some of the things that you can reflect on from that meeting that you found to be fairly important, and things that you want to maybe talk about a little more?
I was really heartened by, the positive atmosphere in the room. Mm-hmm. I think that folks came to the meeting last week to talk about really how we can go forward together. I thought some of the suggestions that came forward were terrific, and one that has really stayed with me is a suggestion by several members of the community that we find ways to bring our students and our neighbors together in some social settings so that they get to know each other. Mm-hmm. As they have the opportunity to be citizens of the city of Keene.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You know, certainly in Ward 1, there has been some animosity between some of the residents, some of the Keene State College students. I think that has gone down a little bit over time, but I think that's a great idea. Now, do you have any ideas on exactly how to do that, so to speak?
I remember two specific suggestions. One was that the college invite our neighbors in Ward 1 mm-hmm. To join us at the beginning of the year during orientation, chance for them to meet our students, for our students to meet them. And the other was sort of the notion of the neighborhood block social.
Yep.
The sort of traditional block party where everybody that lives in the neighborhood brings a dish, and folks really have a chance to dialogue and get to know each other. Mm-hmm.
And Mayor, is that something, do you like that idea also too? Is that something that you think you can work out in Ward 1? Maybe we can find a place. Certainly the Michael J. Blastos Community Center might be a meeting spot, or any other ideas that you have?
No. I think there are. I mean, first off, the amount of energy, the amount of enthusiasm that was in the room that night was really gratifying. That there were, we had planned on about 100 people. We had set up 10 tables for 10 people each. We ended up bringing in more tables, and we ended up having 12, 13, 14 people at every table. Mm-hmm. So that there was a lot more participation. There were a lot more people that were interested in the collaboration than we had anticipated. The energy in that room, the enthusiasm in that room, the desire. And really from the response that I've gotten since then, from the emails that I've gotten, from the phone calls that I've gotten, people want to continue that energy. They really want to continue this dialogue. That they recognize the importance of it. They recognize that it really was a planning exercise. That they really had the opportunity